Good evening, kindred. I am Teranz, and welcome back to more Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Last time we met with Sophie, who kind of told us what she had planned for us, which is to try to start talking to these four kindred here to form a coterie, and beyond that, no idea. So, with that being said, let's get going. Last time I played the game, which is not too far from where I am now, I recruited Hope. This time I'm going to try to work with other people first, so we'll see how that goes. Gangrel, that is the Nosferatu, and he is the... Alright. Let's start here. You arrive at the address given to you by Sophie, a small bookstore smack dab in the middle of Broadway of all places. What rarely catches you off guard, though, is the store's display. From what you've heard about the Tremere, they are infamous for their ties to the occult and the mystical. And yet now looking at the oddball collection of items in the display window, it all feels borderline satirical. The books here cover everything from Ayurvedic practices and homeopathy to wellness and self-motivation. The vaguely amusing juxtapositions don't end there either. You notice a copy of Anton LaVey's Satanic Bible tucked behind a cheap smiling Buddha. A scientific journal on hematology sits next to a teen-orientated pamphlet on the blood type personality theory. A number of religious, quasi-religious lockets, pins, and various emblazoned paraphernalia are haphazardly strewn across the display and between the tomes. Before you even open the door, you can smell the burning incense and hear the corny Far East tinged music seeping through the crackling speakers mounted above the entrance. It's much more quaint than what you'd expect from what Sophie told you about the so-called Warlocks. Doesn't look like they have much interest in impressing outsiders. And again, if there's anything you've learned these past few nights, it's that appearances can be deceiving. At this time of night, the shop appears to be closed. Regardless, you ring the bell. You hear someone shuffling around inside. A brief moment later, the latch slides and the door is pushed open just a few inches. A tired-looking blonde in loose clothes appears in the crack. She seems confused, like you just woke her up. She lets out a yawn, scratching at her tattooed neck. Finally, she squints in your general direction. Her pierced lip curves into an awkward smile. I'm looking for a guy named Agathon. Is he around? The girl gives you a suspicious look over, but opens the door. She takes a few steps back, and you hear footsteps coming from behind a floral curtain that covers the back door. A bespectacled, smart-looking woman emerges and looks straight at you. Come in and follow me. Just don't touch anything, please. You follow her through this door. Inside, as expected, the stuffy air smells of sandalwood, frankincense, and a dozen other aromas. The woman leads you behind the curtain and through the back door onto a rickety staircase. A flight of steps takes you up to the second story. You instantly notice the change in decor as the tacky New Age bookstore gives way to something resembling a cross between a library and a workshop. The smell here is strong too, but much more layered. Not sure what to make of it at first, but with each whiff it becomes apparent. Blood. The aroma, though subtle at first, soon becomes overpowering. takes you a few moments to adapt and focus. I don't think you know who you're speaking with, so an introduction is in order. My name is Aisling Sturbridge, and I am the High Regent of the Chantry of the Five Boroughs. Alright, and so these red things remind me that I need to have a lot of stuff to clear out here. So, a bloodline clan is a bloodline of vampires who share common characteristics passed through the blood from sire to child. Toreador are the artists. Bloodline is the heritage. Ventrue are the blue bloods. Brujah are a thing. Tremere are the blood sorcerers. Vitae is vampire blood. Nosferatu are the hidden. They are not pretty. Gangrel are the beasts. Alcavian are unhinged. Regent is person in charge of Chantry and tutoring Tremere, and a Chantry is the Tremere head. Alright. You are Teranz, correct? I have to say, you're lucky the word outside the building is only there for notification tonight. Otherwise, it would have been quite unpleasant. To answer your question, Agathon is here, but he's hard at work and I wouldn't want to disturb him. Am I here to understand this is a social visit? Wait, how did you know who I am? Well, for one thing, knowing who's who in this city is one of my duties as High Regent. But more importantly, you've been on the mind of many a kindred since Langley took you in. It's quite a precedent, as I'm sure you know, first under Prince Panhard, and for Sophie to be the one to do it, curiouser and curiouser. Still, I'm sure you haven't come here looking for dirt on your sire. That would be unwise. Sophie suggested I meet Agathon. She said he's quite knowledgeable. Did she now? Aisling looks you up and down. Her countenance seems unchanged. You can tell she's judging what you said. That's new. Suddenly a man enters from a side room. He doesn't even look at you, lost in his own thoughts. I have it, Aisling. I think I know how to find it. He catches himself as he notices you. His face turns sour. A visitor? Yes, we were just discussing you, in fact. Is that so? Let me introduce myself. My name is Teranz. I've been told you might be interested in teaming up. Teaming up? He seems very confused by the notion. What for? I could assist you in your work. I can be quite helpful, knowing I can count on someone to return the favor. Is that right? He seems to consider it, then he turns to Aisling. High Regent, may I ask your advice on this? She looks you over as if judging your work. It takes her just long enough to make you feel uncomfortable. When she takes her eyes off you, she addresses Agathon. Do you feel like you need assistance in your task, my child? I'm confident I can do it on my own. He pauses, hesitating for a second. But I do believe it is important enough to warrant outside help, even if only for a single night. Another brief moment of hesitation. Of course, the details remain between you and I, sire. Agreed, on all points. Why don't you start by giving our intern here a brief explanation of what it is you're after. Agathon gives Aisling a hesitant look, but the woman nods approvingly. Encouraged, she turns towards you. A member of our clan disappeared without a trace. Sorry. A member of our clan disappeared without a trace a handful of nights ago. While the High Regent investigates if any foul play was involved, I have been tasked with recovering her research notes. If there's anything left to recover, that is. I have an idea of where to start looking. I suppose this is where you come in. If you truly wish to help, I could use your assistance tonight. Right now, in fact. Given the time we've just wasted on idle chatter, I should leave a meeting. That research sounds pretty important. What's it about? A single glance at Aisling is enough. You can tell you're not getting an answer, at least for now. It's important to us, and that's all you need to know. These people aren't in the habit of making things simple, facing layers upon layers of secrecy. You can only hope that what lies beneath is the real deal. I'm heading out. Are you coming or not? Sure, I'll join you. Very well. Gives Aisling a slight bow. High Regent, with your permission? She nods. Before you go, however, Teranz, defer to Agathon in all things. Our clan values obedience above everything else. Prove you can follow, and this might turn into a mutually beneficial relationship. Await his return, and his report. Good luck, my child. Agathon bows again and heads out, urging you to follow. The High Regent watches you leave. Outside, Agathon leads you to his car. It's almost funny seeing him get behind a wheel. Somehow you expect a more mystical means of transportation. You drive south, heading to the Lower East Side. Agathon seems lost in thought. Either that or he's a very careful driver. Either way, several minutes pass in silence. Decide not to disturb his thoughts and are surprised that it is him who breaks the silence as you're about halfway over the East River. Let me ask you something. Why me? There's likely a couple hundred of us kindred in New York. If you seek me out specifically, why? For one thing, Sophie spoke highly of you. She gave me a short list of people to meet. You were on. I see. Once more, he grows silent. You're unsure whether to continue prying as your driver seems to disappear into his thoughts. Drive into Williamsburg and stop by a fancy-looking building. We're here. There's a restaurant on the top floor. You want to help? So here's your chance. I need you to get us inside the VIP lobby. Once we're in, I need about half an hour of focus and some space. It'll be up to you. Can you keep the attention away from the room? It'll be up to you to keep the attention away from the room. Can you do it? He doesn't wait for an answer and points to the front door. Go ahead. I'm right behind you. The two of you take the elevator up to the restaurant. The door opens and you see that there are only a few guests left sitting at their tables. An important-looking staff member approaches you. Good evening. I'm very sorry, but the restaurant is closed for the night. I can make a reservation for next week if you wish. Hey, we're not your regular customers. In fact, we're location scout for a movie. We'll just take a quick look around and we're gone. No, I'm sorry. We are not interested in being featured in a movie. I will have to ask you to look elsewhere. I would suggest Smith and Walensky or the 21 Club. Hey, it's all good. We can come in. We'll be in the VIP lobby. It won't take long. The man blinks. A confused smile appears on his face. Yes, of course. Not a problem. Please, come right in. You walk in trying to look casual. Make your way towards the VIP lobby. Step inside and close the door behind you. It's a nice place. Very highbrow. Lots of old, expensive looking furniture and private rooms to discuss any sordid business one discusses when you're that rich. Your companion looks at you with something akin to admiration, or at least that's how you choose to interpret the slight change in his usual somber facade. Not bad at all. He inspects the room. It's unusually cold, and Agathon soon discovers why. Looking behind the curtain, a window hangs open. The handle and lock look like they've been dissolved as if with acid. God damn it, Juno. Whoever Juno is, it looks like she's no longer here. A flash of fury sparks in his eyes. Yeah, no kidding. He takes a frantic look around the room. This changes things. Keep an eye on the door. I'll need some time. Half hour at the very least. Nobody's disturbed. Understand? He hastily pushes a couch and some potted plants out of the way, moves a bar stool and takes out a curved knife. Cutting into his own arm, he lets some of his blood drip onto the wooden floor. It's pretty fucked up the way his flesh oozes deep, rich, thick. It's pretty fucked up the way his flesh oozes the deep, red, thick vitae. In life, you'd found it stomach churning, but right now you feel weirdly turned on by the sight. What follows is more disturbing yet. With one hand, he sheathes the knife and seals the wound. With the other, he smears the blood around him while muttering some weird chant. It sounds vaguely Latin, but you're pretty sure it isn't. It's all more than a little disconcerting, but he seems to know what he's doing. A few moments later, the circle starts glowing faintly as thin wisps of smoke surround Agatha. He sits down in the middle, legs crossed, eyes closed. Minutes pass. Agathon's face twitches from time to time, and his head turns every now and then as if he was looking around or listening in on a conversation. The smoke grows thicker, forming a veil around the mage. You expect something more flashy, but still a sight to behold. You wonder what the point of it is, but you refrain from asking. It's probably best to let Agathon do his thing. For close to 30 minutes, you're left to your own devices. Then suddenly the door opens slightly and the manager leans in the room. Tense up for a second, but just gives you an awkward smile. Anything you need? You shoo him away before he can take a closer look at your companion, and he retreats a bit. 2 minutes later, Agathon casually gets up off the floor and walks over to the sofa. He pushes his hands in between the cracks in the upholstery and fishes something out. Then he turns to you and nods. We're done here. Let's go. You make your way back to the elevator, passing the manager on your way. He gives you a slight, somewhat confused smile, but neither him nor any of his staff gets in your way. Despite that, the elevator ride down feels tense and the two of you only relax once inside Agathon's car. He starts the engine and takes a right onto the Continental Army Plaza, back onto the bridge. You're just about to say something, but he beats you to it. That went better than I expected, all things considered. It might have been a trick of the light, but you're pretty sure you just saw a smile. I'm used to working alone, but what I'm dealing with right now, it might require some more assistance. You seem capable enough. Gee, thanks. I take it that's your way of showering me with praise. You swear you could. Could swear you just made him smirk. You did fine. Once you really impress me, I'll be sure to let you know. It doesn't take you long to reach the Warlocks' hideout. Agathon waves at you absent-minded, once again lost in his thoughts, hopelessly so. One of these nights you should probably take him up on his offer. Who knows? If you gain his trust, maybe you can actually break through his stoic facade and meet the man underneath. Alright, well that is that done. Looks like we have time for one more. I need to rest. Okay. I don't have time for one more, so I will do this resting thing. You notice something strange by the front door of your haven. A letter's been slipped under the door in a cream-colored, old-fashioned envelope. There's no name on it, but you know it's meant for you. Opening the letter, it's clear it's been sent by someone incredibly old-fashioned, rich, or a fan of classic stationery. No normal person sends letters like this. The note is short and terse, written in elegant, delicate handwriting. You're cordially invited to a rendezvous at the Cathedral of St. John the Divine. I'll be waiting to make your acquaintance tomorrow night. Look for me closer to God. There's no other information. It looks like you have a mysterious invitation for the following night. Alright. Well, this is a little earlier than I had initially planned for ending this episode, but I think this is a good stopping point. So I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, you can go ahead and hit that thumbs up button down below and hit subscribe to stay tuned for more Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York.